I've got everything we need to sage with, but before I start that, the first thing that I like to do is I like to light a candle. And with the candle lighting, I will just set my intention of what I would like to accomplish with the saging and clearing. Some people like to do a prayer. I will just set an intention and either say it to myself or say it out loud. Next, I've got my sage, which is what I'm going to use to clear my house. I like to use white sage. And right here is the remnants of a previous sage bundle that I'm going to use. I have it in this dish because I'm going to light it, and while I'm clearing the rest of the house, I'm just going to let it smoke and smolder in the kitchen, which is the middle of my house. I also have this seashell, which I'm going to put the sage in, and I would recommend that you get one of these because using this by itself gets embers and can burn things, and I know this from experience. With the seashell, I like to put a couple of drops of essential oil in it. Today I'm going to use Purify because, like I mentioned, I'm just trying to get all of the sickness air out of my house, and Purify is a great oil for that. So I'm just going to put a couple drops in the shell where the sage will be burning. If it's more of a spiritual cleaning, I'll use a high vibration oil like frankincense, or if I'm just looking to clear my house in general, I like to use lavender or something calming like that. The next thing you're gonna need is something to bring the good energy back into your home. So sage is like an antibiotic where it will kill the good and the bad bacteria. Same thing for sage. It's going to just completely wipe out all of the good and the bad energy, just a fresh, clean slate. So you're going to want to have something that can help you bring back the good energy in your house. What I like to use is Palo Santos. So I have sticks that I'll go around the house and I will smudge with after I do the sage. And I also have incense right here that I'll burn in the kitchen in the center of the house, just like I did with the leftover sage while I'm going through the rest of the house with the Palo Santo. If Palo Santo is not really your thing, you can do something else like cook a delicious meal, have laughter, music, anything that you feel like brings good energy into the home. You're going to want to do that after you sage. Now we are ready to start our smudging process. So I'm going to light this old like bunch right here that I mentioned. I'm just going to let it kind of burn in this bowl in the kitchen while I go through the rest of the house. Okay, so I've got the remnants nice and smoky. It took a minute because they're kind of old, but now I'm going to take my bundle that I'm gonna actually smudge with, and I'm gonna light it. Get it nice and hot. Blow it out, get it nice and smoky. You're gonna want it nice and smoky, not on fire. Okay, as you can see, I've got my smudging stick nice and hot and smoky. So I'm going to go through my house and smudge and follow the pattern that I mentioned before. I'm gonna start at the bottom level, go clockwise, and then move up each level going clockwise each time. I'll come back when I'm done. What I think you're gonna do when you are saging is you're gonna wanna put your sage in your little seashell, and you can either hold it in the seashell and move it around like this, or you can take a feather and kind of waft the smoke like this as you walk around and cleanse your house. Now that I've walked through my entire house with sage, I'm going to go through and do the same pattern using Palo Santos, again, to bring back some good energy into the house. So I've got my stick, and I'm also going to light an incense and just keep that burning in the center of my house while I walk through. I have finished my saging and my Palo Santos, and obviously, like, make sure you put them in water before you put them away so that they don't continue to burn and smolder. and start a fire in your space. But this is a little thing that I do on top of the saging, just because I have some energetic boundaries that I create in my house, and every time I sage, I just like to redo those. So I've done a video about this before, but what you're going to want to do is you're going to basically create a light wall around. How you're going to create this light wall is you are going to imagine light coming down from your source or your highest heaven down through the top of your head, into your body, and out through your hands. And you're going to imagine having light coming out of your hands. Then what you're going to want to do is use this light to use your hands to push this light out to the exterior of your walls. So I'm going to push towards the wall, each wall, and then I'm going to push up towards the ceiling, and then I'm going to push down towards the floor. And I'm going to repeat that on all four. Specifically, what I like to do is first I will push out a light wall to the line of my property. So I will just be standing in my house and visualize the edge of my property and push out my light wall and put just to the edge of my property. So basically there's a light protection on my property. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the lowest floor, just like I did with the saging, and I'm going to visualize pushing the light from where I'm standing in the center of whatever floor I'm in, clear to the like the edge of my house. And I'm going to go push it out, push it up, push it down, and go in a square. And I'm going to repeat that on all four, and I also like to do an extra light wall layer of protection in all of our bedrooms. So once I've done all 3 of the floors, I'll go to each of the bedrooms and repeat the same thing. I also like to do an extra light wall layer of protection in all of our bedrooms. So once I've done all 3 of the floors, I'll go to each of the bedrooms and repeat the same thing. And I will, in the stories, repost that reel that I did so you can see the technique further. I also have protective crystals all over my house, and I kind of have like a grid throughout my house, which again, I've done a reel about, but I will repost it after this. You can see the specifics. But after I've gone through and done the light wall, I will basically go around my house and just reactivate the crystals. So I've got some over the doors to the outside of my house, so the exterior doors. I've got some over our bedrooms, and then I have them in all 4 corners of my house on each floor. So the ones in the corners that are the protective grid, I will just visualize like reconnecting my protective grid just to further create an energetic protection around my house. And once I've done that, I am finished. So after I finish doing my whole process, I will go and get in the shower because I feel like I just need to clean myself also after going through that, and put my clothes straight in the wash. And then I will do something that I love and enjoy, like cooking or hanging out with my family or playing music, or just something to, again, reintroduce the positive energy into my fresh and clean, energetic house.